Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM News 10 at 10, where we give you more news in less time. Let's get started. We're going to kick things off tonight with a look at the forecast. If you missed today's sunshine, don't worry. It looks like we've got more in store for tomorrow. Let's get straight to Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Legoo for a quick look at the forecast. Jeremy?
Well, Mark, it's one of those ones where, today was quite nice. Tomorrow, going to be even nicer. A little bit of cloud cover continues to lift in from the south, but all in all, that cloud cover should do a decent job of keeping our temperatures warmer than they otherwise would be. A lot of that moisture just kind of falling apart as it reaches Spokane County. Some of that lifting its way into Kootenai County, but most of that staying to the south side. A bulk of that moisture winds up in the foothills of the Cascades, and that's where we continue to see it overnight. Notice forecast models try to put a little bit of moisture near us early tomorrow. I think most of this gets hung up in the Palouse. So yes, Pullman, yes, Moscow, down in maybe Lewiston. I don't necessarily think you're there, but even Walla Walla could be seeing a little bit of moisture to start the day. That then moves out. Forecast models are trying to put some of this in. This is a high resolution model. Kind of the only one doing it, but historically, this is the most accurate in a pattern like this, so something worth exploring when it comes to the forecast. I still think we see plenty of sun, and I still think we're quite warm as we move through the day. In fact, 50s for the rest of the work week.
50s ain't too bad. Jeremy, thank you very much. We are continuing to follow a developing story tonight. A man is dead and a gunman still on the run tonight following a shooting at a West Spokane apartment complex. KREM 2's Kyle Simchuk has been at the scene all evening long, and tonight we are hearing from a witness.
The shooting was reported around 3 p.m. right here at the Catholic Charities Sisters Haven Apartments. It's right next to Spokane Falls Community College. Spokane police say the shooting does not appear to be random, and one witness tells us she heard gunshots followed by screaming. A helicopter in the sky, K9 teams on the ground, searching for a killer.
Officers arrived on scene and found a deceased male.
The victim shot to death inside an apartment. According to police radio, it appears a woman called 911.
10-4 units on issue call, and looks like we've got the complainant on the line. She says she needs an ambulance. She can't go outside, wants people to come to the door.
Ball 326, we're making entry in the apartment building right now. Stand by.
It was clear that it was gunshots.
This woman, who asked to remain anonymous, lives in another apartment complex and was unloading groceries when she heard the gunshots.
It was bang, bang. Then heard this woman screaming. She was like, oh my God, oh my God.
Major crimes detectives were brought in along with a forensics team later this evening. We saw detectives with flashlights going through this second-story apartment as well as a dumpster outside. The victim's name has not been released, and it's unclear what led to the shooting. We saw several security cameras throughout the complex. Police now reviewing those tapes and interviewing neighbors. In a statement, Catholic Charities says they're cooperating with SPD and working to ensure the safety of residents and staff.
We are actively looking for somebody, so no one is in custody at this time.
I'm hoping they caught him. I'm hoping they do.
And at this point, it's unclear if police even have a suspect. They have not released any information or descriptions. Reporting in West Spokane tonight, Kyle Simchuk, KREM 2 News.
Meantime, Spokane Mayor Nadine Woodward ordered flags to be lowered to half-staff today in honor of the victims of that school shooting in Nashville that killed 6 people. Coming up in about 10 minutes, we'll show you the latest body camera footage from police that were in the building that day. Washington Governor Jay Inslee has also ordered all flags to be at half-staff this week in honor of those killed in Nashville. Today, state lawmakers brought up the Nashville school shooting as an example for the need for even tougher gun laws here in Washington. House Bill 1240 would ban the sale of guns defined as assault weapons. It passed out of the Senate Law and Justice Committee this afternoon.
What we're talking about is the ability to combine so many of these features to make these weapons so much more deadly, to kill so many more people so quickly. It doesn't give people a chance.
Well, the bill has been brought up several times, but it's never made it this far in the process. Well, we are tracking new court documents filed in the case against the man accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students. Those documents show the state has become aware of potential Brady Giglio material related to one of the officers involved in the case. It states, quote, "The material in the form of a confidential internal affairs investigation is hereby submitted to the court." It continues that prosecutors intend to disclose that information to the defendant's counsel. It is not clear what that information is, and a judge agreed to keep it under seal. We will continue to follow this story and bring you updates as soon as we learn more. Well, new helicopter footage tonight showing a high-speed police chase in California with a dramatic ending. According to Highway Patrol, the suspect stole a Highway Patrol cruiser, then took off. After hitting a set of spike strips and getting a flat tire, the suspect actually jumps out of the patrol car at 70 miles per hour. Right now, his condition is unknown, but an officer was seen performing chest compressions on that suspect. A fire at an immigration detention center in Mexico killed nearly 40 people this morning. The fire broke out in a facility in the Ciudad Juarez, which is across from El Paso, Texas. 29 others were injured in the fire. The cause is still unknown at this hour, but investigators are at the scene. Meantime, in Paris, ongoing protests have forced the Eiffel Tower to shut its doors. The staff is on strike along with the rest of the city. They are protesting the government's drive to raise the retirement age to 65. The French president put the move through without a vote, and now protesters are pushing to denounce him. And now to our Nightbeat with a quick look at today's top stories. Washington Attorney General Bob Ferguson filed a multi-state federal lawsuit against the FDA, accusing it of singling out one of the 2 drugs used for medical abortions. Ferguson also accuses the FDA of excessively harsh regulations, despite ample evidence the drug is safer than Tylenol, he says. He also filed a preliminary injunction asking the court to stop enforcing restrictions on mifepristone, a common drug used for medical abortions, while the case continues. And Washington Governor Jay Inslee was in Moses Lake earlier today at the Grant County International Airport. He was checking out new innovations in aviation, like a hydrogen-powered plane that took off for the first time within the last 2 months.
So I could not be more thrilling. It'd be like sort of being a Kitty Hawk back in the day with the Wright brothers. That's the level of innovation that folks are doing right here in Central Washington.
Inslee said this isn't the last that we'll be seeing of this technology. He is hoping to move it to statewide and capitalize on the potential for electric and hydrogen-powered airplanes. Washington State University and Providence Health are launching Eastern Washington's first pediatric residency program. The announcement came this morning on WSU's Spokane campus. It's a 3-year residency with 18 spots. 6 residents will be admitted into the program each year.
When you have a smaller program in a city where it has a lot of opportunity, there's not that limitation of competing with other learners for experiences and procedures. So they will have a lot of hands-on opportunity.
The college says this program is exactly what they need to serve the state's rural and underserved communities. And that was your Night Beat. To learn more about any of these stories, just text us the word night to 509-448-2000 and we'll send them directly to your phone. Well, new statistics out of Seattle show the average salary on the west side is about $24 an hour, but they also show you need to make almost double that to afford rent in most of the metro areas. According to the National Low Income Housing Coalition, people living in the city of Seattle need to make as much as $60 an hour just to afford 2-bedroom housing. In some of the surrounding suburbs, prices are slightly lower, but living farther out also means factoring in the cost of gas. Meantime, in Portland, construction underway now for one of the city's latest proposed solutions to the housing crisis. It's called the Safe Rest Village, and it's one of 6 opening around Portland. But neighbors are now speaking out about the tiny home village and its proximity to their homes.
We feel miserable because of it. We had completely different vision for our old age to live in peace.
City code requires the site be set back from residential property lines. The issue now is that the village's bathrooms will be just 10 feet away from some homes. Neighbors say they just don't feel like the city is hearing their complaints.